You know, we all like to think we're in the driver's seat of our own minds, making logical, rational choices. But what if I told you there's a kind of hidden source code running in the background, one that's full of glitches that secretly guide your life? Today, we're diving deep and decoding those very glitches, cognitive biases. I mean, seriously, have you ever bought something you absolutely didn't need just because it was on a huge sale? Or maybe you've had that feeling of, oh, I knew that was going to happen, but only after it already did. Well, you're not alone. And guess what? It's not random. It's just your brain doing what it does best, taking a shortcut. Okay, so here's the wild part. Every single second, your brain is getting bombarded with about 11 million bits of information. But your conscious mind, it can only handle about 40 of those bits. 40! To keep from having a total system meltdown, your brain has to create these little mental shortcuts to sort through the chaos. But these shortcuts, while they're super efficient, come with some serious hidden costs. So let's pull back the curtain and get a clear look at what these hidden shortcuts really are. So what is a cognitive bias? Well, think of it like a predictable glitch in your brain's software. It's not about being smart or dumb. It's just how the human brain is wired. These are systematic patterns that push us towards certain judgments and decisions. And the crazy part is, most of the time, we have no idea it's even happening. I love this quote because it just nails it. The fact is, we all have these biases. There's no escaping them. The only real choice we get is whether we're going to be aware of them or not. And that awareness, that's everything. It's the first step to thinking more clearly. So why are our brains like this? Well, these aren't just random bugs, they're features. They actually evolved to help us survive. Imagine our ancestors on the savannah. They had to make split-second decisions. Is that a lion in the grass, or is it just the wind? To save precious mental fuel, the brain became what psychologists call a cognitive miser. It always looks for the easiest, fastest path. The only problem is that ancient survival programming doesn't always work so well in our complex, modern world, right? So how does this programming actually run? It really boils down to two very different operating systems that are constantly running inside our heads. This whole idea was cracked wide open by two brilliant psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. Their research was a game changer, and it gave us this incredible framework for understanding how we think, all based on these two systems. And here they are. System 1 is your gut reaction. It's your autopilot. It's fast, intuitive, and often emotional. You know, when you instantly swerve to avoid something on the road, that's all System 1. Then you have System 2. This is your conscious, analytical mind. It's slow, deliberate, and it takes real effort. Think about trying to solve a tough math problem or learning a new skill. That's your System 2 doing the heavy lifting. So here's where it all connects. Cognitive biases are basically what happens when our fast, impulsive System 1 shouts out an answer, and our lazy System 2 just doesn't bother to step in and double-check its work. It's a classic case of intuition just steamrolling right over logic. Okay, theory is great, but let's see this stuff in the wild. We're going to look at 3 of the most common biases that you, me, and pretty much everyone we know runs into every single day. First on the list, the anchoring effect. This is our brain's weird tendency to latch onto the very first piece of information it gets, the anchor, and then use that as a reference point for everything that follows, even if that first piece of info's totally irrelevant. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You walk into a store, you see a jacket for $50, but right next to it, the original price of $100 is crossed out. That 100? That's the anchor. All of a sudden, $50 feels like an amazing deal, even if that jacket was never really worth $100 to begin with. Your brain is just anchored to that first number it saw. And this isn't some small effect. Get this. Research shows that just by dropping a high anchor price, businesses can get us to be willing to pay up to 50% more for something. Wow, that's a huge deal. It's all about that first number. All right, next up is a big one, maybe one of the most powerful biases out there, and that's confirmation bias. This is our brain's natural and kind of stubborn tendency to hunt for information that proves us right, while conveniently ignoring or dismissing anything that suggests we might be wrong. You see this everywhere. In politics, it's why people tend to stick to the same news sources that echo their own opinions. At work, if you decide a coworker is lazy, you'll start to notice every single time they're late, but you'll completely forget about the extra hours they pulled last week. Your brain becomes a detective, but it's only looking for clues that support its own case. And yeah, this totally hits our wallets. A report found we're willing to pay up to 30% more for a product if the brand's message just aligns with our personal beliefs. We literally pay a premium just for the good feeling of having our views validated. And for our last one, let's talk about social proof. This is the ultimate everybody's doing it bias. We are fundamentally social creatures, so when we're unsure about what to do, we just look around, see what everyone else is doing, and assume that's the right thing to do. It's like our brain has a built-in herd instinct. Just think about online shopping. I mean, do you ever buy anything without checking the reviews first? This chart here shows how dramatically this has taken over. By 2020, a whopping 87% of us are reading those reviews. Why? It's pure social proof. If 500 strangers on the internet say a product is good, our brain just goes, well, it must be. Okay, so we know we're full of these mental glitches, and that might sound a little bleak, but here's the good news. You can do something about it. So how do we start thinking just a little bit clearer?
It's not that complicated. Here's a super simple 3-step plan. First, just acknowledge it. You have to accept that your brain is wired this way. That's half the battle. Step 2, question your gut. The next time you have a really strong, instant reaction to something, just pause for a second and ask, wait, is this my fast-acting system 1, or is this a truly logical conclusion? And step 3, and this one's the hardest but most important, you have to actively seek another perspective. Force yourself to look for the information that challenges what you think.
Now let's be super clear here. The goal is not to get rid of your biases. Honestly, that's impossible. They're part of our fundamental wiring. The real win is just becoming aware of them. It's about knowing when a mental shortcut might be leading you down the wrong path and then choosing to wake up that slow, effortful system too, to make a more conscious decision.
So there you have it. Your brain's hidden shortcuts aren't so hidden anymore. Now that you know about them, the real question is, which one are you going to spot in the wild first?